Okay.
There you go. Now we won't be confused. But everybody still has to be quiet. We'll be quiet if there's one speaker.
My portion of the presentation is the existing property that's here. We're proposing about 600 Perry Highway. Does everybody know where that is? Yep. Okay. It is 12.88 acres and it borders our park, which makes it places aren't in there in my opinion. The proposed plan in the future would be to keep this building, and if we had to generate money to help assist for that, we've been talking about selling this, our building, and the ball fields behind it. Start to generate the money. I'm Ed, I'm the roadmaster and code enforcer for Lancaster Township. I think that we're all here because we all have a lot of questions. I wanted everybody to come. I want to hear your opinion, whether it's good or bad for this project. And as well as the supervisors. We want everybody's opinion. We want to hear your thoughts. This township is growing. There's no doubt about it. We're going to grow. And what Mary and Sylvia especially has been working on is trying to grow us in the right direction. Ordinances, subdivision ordinances, just stuff. It's a lot of work. And they're trying to do it right. You don't want what's happened in other townships around us, without naming any of them, to just blow up in here before they have the ordinances set. So this building is part of our future. What we do here is going to be part of our future. The other building that they proposed building was, it says in the book there, was going to cost $7.6 million. That was before Mary got here. That was the estimated cost before she got here. This is what she's absorbed. This is her plan, and I don't think anybody can deny the fact that 13 acres of mixed-use property along 19 is worth $1 million.
Can we ask a question?
Absolutely.
How many acres is that property usable?
All of it's usable. The top part is going to be usable for public works. All the slurry that everybody's worried about and all that stuff, the county has remediation funds that they said that they would assist us with if there's anything that everybody's worried about toxic or anything like that. The county has helped us tremendously with a lot of this. Mary can answer a lot of those questions in the financial end of it, but that's just what she's told me and what I've absorbed from
So
her.
how many acres are usable?
All of it. We're going to use the top part for the
part.
Yeah, the other part's going to be for the
For
park.
what you're talking about, we're going to use it as
Roughly, I would have to guess roughly 5 acres up top. For us. The other 5 acres, Rich and I walked it. I've walked it a couple times. It's great for mountain biking and making trails. And as we grow, that's what we want. And you want people to use the park. Everybody has a different interest. Yes.
What happened to the plan for the Four Springs Park?
That's part of our park committee. I don't know.
What if we just did this plan-wise and make a great park?
That's the
Without
$7
spending
million.
all this money.
Well, that's the $7.6 million for that building. It's in the paper there. It's in the
Yeah,
paper.
I looked at it.
We didn't come up with that number. I believe it was here before Mary was here. Is that correct?
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yes.
Now, what was supposed to be in that building?
Lease and admin. No, we were staying here. We were still going to be here. Public works, the road department will still be here.
Why didn't you leave them though?
I don't know. Can't answer that.
Get pretty nice building.
Biggest question, how's the building, or how is this property getting paid for?
So, one of the things that Mary has done is with grant money, you have to spend money to get money. Everybody knows that. So, Mary has done pretty good with getting her ducks in a row to apply for these grants. And you have to have the loan to apply for the grant. You can't apply for the grant before you have the property. So, it's going to be grant
So
money.
what if we get denied?
There's no guarantee.
What if we get denied for the grant, just like we just got denied for the last grant that we tried for?
Which grant are you talking about?
I don't know, a couple weeks ago or a month ago.
Yeah,
Got
I
denied
can help out.
for it.
So
Good.
we've met the county has been a hundred mark. And that's really great. And some of the questions are outside of this capacity. And that's why we broke down maybe now. I think all of us have.
You'll have to speak up, Mark, speak up. I'm 2 people away from you, can't hear you.
Mark, Rich, come on over.
Use a microphone.
Can you hear?
You would think, spend $1 million on.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he's coming over.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, my name's Rich Marcotte. I'm one of the
Back to
supervisors here. in the
the microphone. You got a microphone?
Look, listen, Pete, come closer if you can. Mark, I'll get up on your ass. These people can't.
You don't have a microphone here?
Speak up.
What's your question again? What's the question? The question was, how are we gonna pay for this if we don't get the grant money? It's gonna be a loan, just like anything else. 20-year loan, whatever, but Mark, is it Mark Gordon? Is it Mark Gordon? Is that Mark Gordon? I forget who it is from the county.
Mary's no whispering again.
These are questions for when you get outside. Mary has every one of these answers. Yes?
I asked you how many acres were in Fort Springs Park,
Yes,
and you found out.
by Connie. I asked Connie.
27.
There's questions here that I don't know the answer to everything. I'm the roadmaster and code enforcer. I'm just trying to propose to you what we have here.
It
And
seems
the
like
property
we
that we
already
wanna buy.
have enough land to build what you think we need to do the roadmaster work. I'm all for the roadmasters doing a great job. They've done it for 20 years, as far as I'm concerned. I'm all for that.
So why?
So any development that comes, we don't have the room for the extra bins, the extra salt.
What
You're
about
gonna be adding roadways.
And you've got 26 acres.
26 acres
Around
already
corn
bought?
rows there.
Do you think we should store stone and
Yes.
salt on our park?
Yes.
Why not?
We bought it, it was subdivided out.
We have 5 acres of commercial frontage over there.
We
set aside for the purpose.
It was already, it was subdivided out. Can I speak again? So we have, can you all hear me now? We have met with the county to look at purchasing this property. The county understands the position that the township's in. You guys see the problem we have right now. We cannot have a meeting that everybody can be heard or everybody can be in the same person. The township has outgrown these facilities. It has always been in the township's plan to put a new municipal building in the park.
Mark, what's wrong with what's wrong with Fort Springs Park to put it up there?
Because if we can add 13 acres to the park as well as a municipal building, we can prevent maybe development, which some folks in the township don't want. It's a good investment. And if we
Was
can
Fort
sell
Springs
this
Park
at a
originally
wash-
developed, was it subdivided out to sell off 3 parcels up front to help pay for the park back 14 years ago, Connie, maybe?
That's before my time, I don't know.
It was.
So
I was
Chris is here.
supervisor here then. So the money you're talking about, that building, that was an old manager that went out and got estimates on his own. That wasn't set up that's why it got shut down. There's like 5 acres or 3 parcels that was set off, that subdivided off that park property. The original plan was to sell those parcels as commercial frontage on 19 and use that money to fund the park.
So they would rather take
that
road
money-
frontage off of 19?
Yes.
That,
Before your time.
this was before, the original plan was to sell that. So the property was purchased from the Haynes family.
Correct.
It was all part of it. When Haynes retired, that property was purchased. It sat almost too long to do it. We had to do something with it. It was subdivided to have 5 acres or 3 parcels along the front. It was commercial property that was going to be sold off to fund the building of the park. That was commercial frontage to be sold. That then turned into, we were able to receive a grant for the park. So we started work on that park with a walking trail because we received grants to start that. That was all done. We got that stuff. The building that was estimated, that was brought into us without even a request. That, at least not by my knowledge. It came in and we shut it down because so you could put a $7.6 million building
Right.
up on a $1.3 million budget when you can only borrow 75% of what your budget is. There's no way to do it, like financially. The county had different options back then, but not anything as substantial, buying a piece of property or giving you that much money to put a piece of property on. So that's why everything kind of went into a stale shift of on hold, because there was just not enough money financially in the township without creating.
And how many years ago was that?
I'd say probably about 8 years ago.
You used the word stale, like you've got
It
stale,
just-
and it's now
Yeah.
stale.
Yeah.
But those three parcels were carved out.
They're carved out, they're still carved out, they're subdivided off, that whole frontage is, there's acres.
Do you
along the
still
whole
think that that would
frontage.
be a good idea to sell part of our?
I'm just asking why.
Park,
we
No,
have
no,
the original
we're not saying
plan.
some part of our park, we're saying not buy more.
Yeah, then.
Why would you not use what we have as opposed to buying more?
What about moving the ball field from here to the park and then expanding on this property here?
I mean,
I have a question.
Sure.
I was reading online last meeting.
Yeah, we could.
It's my understanding that that ball field and this park back here was donated to the township, and we're not allowed to do anything other than use it for a ball field and park. We can't sell.
It was purchased through a grant.
So if that's
No,
not true,
no,
why
Eddie,
don't we move it
Eddie, are
over
you
to
hundred
the
percent sure on that? Are you 100% sure?
Yeah.
Are you 100% sure?
Are you 100% sure, or did you talk to Denny Carr?
Yeah, Bill Bauer, I believe.
I don't think you're 100%
We got the documents on it.
You do, that is turned over.
It was-
See, I thought you bought that back corner on the grant money, not this. I would double check on that before you sell it, because you might get in a ringer.
So why
And,
not
and
move it?
selling this, first off, selling this is not the first option. That's not the first option. We don't want.
What's it appraised for?
800 and some
It
thousand.
is back here.
You still can't with the.
Also, in the future, if we can get the fire station
From there, so it's here.
that property up there, we can sell that piece of property.
What's wrong with fire station?
The problem with the fire district can't get people to stop.
Well, what's gonna change if they put in a different building?
And so ultimately, long term, we do have the property to put up a different building that accommodates fire department.
Have you seen the fire department are doing? Building new fire departments, attracting one.
Tons of grant assistance.
We have issues.
With grant, yes.
Yeah, a pretty building.
But that would justify what is imposed.
It's not.
No, I understand.
The future, the township is growing, whether we like it or not.
So you're expecting
We don't like
in the future, we may have issues, so you want to sell property that you currently have to pay for property that we
The
don't.
plan is not to sell it.
No, and I answer at the end of the day, when you guys go through the entire presentation, what you're gonna find is that by building and renovating that property we're interested in purchasing, it is going to cost significantly less than building a new municipal building in the park, which will also eat away at your.
So you're gonna
park
spend $1
space.
billion on this property, and what do you plan on placing on the property?
That's in this phase over here.
The community slowly.
Yeah, you can absolutely.
And what do
So,
you
yeah, I
think
think
this is gonna
that's.
cost?
Mary, that's all your
Well, Phil, you talk to Mary. What's the cost? I mean, I don't want to talk to Mary. I'm
It's
just,
in there.
I'm stuck, but then open the page up and tell me. Just tell me what the number is. I'm not going to Mary, because my ass ain't big enough to get the smoke balloon up.
You can pick up a piece of paper now, which we prepared for you to look.
Why can't you tell me? You can't look in the eye and tell, just tell me. Tell me what it is. Tell me what is the proposed number on this whole campus?
3.6 million, I believe.
3.6.
3.821. 3.821.
And you think that's
Sir,
going
you've
to
had
do
your
it?
hand up for a while. Go ahead. Thank you for not.
Oh, 10 years ago, the
Why do
building
we
down
like to
there.
have-
There was some bozo that was.
Excuse me. Man has a question here. Go ahead.
I have more of a statement, and please don't interrupt.
Absolutely.
All right, I recognize the looking, the forward thinking thing. I'm also speaking from authority here. I used to teach at Peace House. But I think you have an impact fee ordinance, is that correct? You ought to get rid of it.
Well,
Hang on a second. You ought to get rid of it. And then get developers to start kicking in more. And what we did when I was a supervisor back in the day, for 24 years, we had a really sharp solicitor. You want instead of a 32-foot cart with 40-foot cartway, you want a 28? Okay, give us about $1 million back. You ought to get developers to pay for this. And also, get the money in front before you borrow too much. Two is, if you think you're gonna get $3.6 million grant money for a township's, it's not gonna happen.
We can't get 3.6.
You can't, you'll be lucky to get 100, if that.
We have contracted through the county with a group from Harrisburg who is helping us with all.
Good luck. No. You're not gonna get anywhere near the grant, you might get 50 or 100 grand. Trust me, you're not gonna fund this thing for grant money. Not anywhere close. But you can get developers to pay for it if you're really sharp you're on the right track. You gotta get land development plans, ordinances, all those things that have to come in place. You're on the right track, but you've gotta get rid of that impact fee ordinance and start negotiating with developers.
Can I say something? We do not have an impact fee ordinance.
Oh, you don't?
We do not. We do
You got-
negotiate with developers, we do get them, they do pay for each unit they put in, they do have an amount they pay to the township.
All right, two, I looked at your financials as best I could tell. You use the DCD format of accounting, terrible accounting format. I'm a CPA by trade. And I used to teach this stuff at PSATs. I can't tell if you have any debt on that by looking at it. Yeah, you have total fund balances of about $1 million. Is that correct? Give or take? Okay, you had $450,000 in one account that earned $800 in interest. That would be getting $12,000 in interest. So you got to manage some of your cash flow. Then all this does into the other issue. If you go out for a loan, what's your bond rating going to be? I'm not so sure you're going to have a very good bond rating. Is what you're telling me. They're going to look at
I don't think he knows.
What's that?
You're gonna have to ask.
I know, but you have a lot of unanswered questions even within yourselves before you move forward on this thing.
Well, in all honesty, the goal of the evening was to put you all in the front of a different group of people who had a different expertise on the product. And Mary does have the questions to all of them. She prepared for that this evening.
Can I ask a question? This is a really simple question, and I'm asking it for everybody who's here. I have a copy of last month's agenda under B, item 6, other business. Number 1, move to approve the purchase of property at 600 Perry Highway to be used as the township campus for all public safety administration and community service and park expansion.
Yeah.
I am outraged that that would be listed, that you were going to vote without any of us knowing anything. This should have been done before you moved to vote on that. Again, trusting you to make decisions for the township, a multi-million-dollar project like this, you need to inform the whole community.
So
what
first
you're
off, we second, did we vote on it or did we listen to what the community?
Well, you were going to vote on
Right, that's how the interaction is. Right. That's your opinion. And we're here trying to provide transparency. The reality
Hold on. If we're talking about transparency, then why aren't all the pages of the appraisal found?
Ask Mary.
That's all about there. My God.
Can I say something? Under the township
You chose to have all the comments.
We know
We went for 5,000. Poor vision, but the way to get there is terrible.
What are you doing here? Why'd you move
I'll come back.
Stay in Bucks County.
No.
Is they getting the same money?
Worse.
Is there a rush?
So,
And you go through without any.
they're right control and trying to get funded, because it's coming.
The person that owns the property
Terrible.
is trying to use our money to put down money on their property. It's kind of a sell their.
Supervisors are the supervisors are all, but this mayor is running the thing, is literally running.
I think she
It's
has
not a bad
leadership
purchase.
skills.
The whole point of this is, it's not a bad purchase.
Okay, can I disagree respectfully? It's a $4,764,114.
One second. Sir, you had your hand up for a long time without interrupting
Let him
anybody.
finish. $4,764,114. You stated earlier, Ed, that property that abuts the park is worth double what it should be.
No, in my opinion, this is just my opinion.
Right, I'm
If I had
saying,
property
you
next to
stated
something,
that.
I would rather
Can I
have.
finish? Sure. Okay, so I'm the only other property that abuts the park.
Okay.
So by your valuation, write me a check for $4,764,000. You can have all 61.6 acres of mine. You got a whole lot more there. That's how ridiculous your valuation is. My property abuts the park. You want to build whatever you want to build on there. That's the valuation you're giving this property next to the park. The only other abutting property is mine. So if you want to pay $77,000+ per acre for what it is, you got a 3-year-old building you can park your offices in. You've got 2 outbuildings you can start putting stuff in, and you got another 60 acres you can build stuff on. That's the valuation.
You don't have the egress that we're looking for as far as the fire station. We're hoping to have the fire station right on 19 in the future.
You got future plans. Okay, so you have 90+ acres contiguous.
Did you come to this? That person came to me that lives at 600 and said that they were looking to sell. So, did you come to us saying that you were looking to sell?
No, I'm trying to make the point. I'm trying to make the point that the valuation is out of line, Ed.
So we had it professionally appraised.
But you're not even disclosing it.
We will certainly put that on the website.
Can it get on before the Monday meeting next week? Because Greg, when he was walking out, I questioned him on it. He said, "Oh, we'll hand it out to you on Monday." When the vote's supposed to happen, so you're not going to provide the appraisal until the vote is supposed to happen, and you expect the entire citizenship of the township to just be okay with being slapped in the face with information moments before you guys are going to vote on our taxpaying dollars.
No, we'll put it on it tomorrow. There is no, the appraisal was done by Craig Down, who lives here forever, he owns a business. It's not, whether you like him or not, he's a
That's
professional.
not one man's opinion, though. You should have got.
That's what we paid him for.
Should have got a copy.
Well,
But then if it's higher, then we got a
Hey,
bid
Rich.
one.
correct.
Hey, Rich,
With the
I asked, if all this money's been put into doing studies everywhere else, has there been even one call? And this was, I asked this when I was supervisor, have an architect come in and look at the property we have here and do some remodeling with what we have. We already have the salt sheds, we have the outbuildings, we have the equipment storage, we have a Boy Scout building here that could be torn down because the Boy Scouts aren't even in it anymore. Wings could be spread, you could go up. Is there ever been any look at doing anything with the
So
property
listen,
here?
you're acknowledging that there's a problem with the property here, correct?
Well, no, there's a.
There is. We can't.
What I'm saying is it could be expanded here.
There
Second
are
story,
building
a wing
choices
put on.
as to what we're gonna do, or what we can do. What we know is we need more space. And if we can consolidate everybody on one
All I'm
lot for
asking
less money.
is all the studies that have been put into all these buildings, this is the second time the township has paid for estimates,
pay for any of
drawings, and everything else. So why has anybody, both an architect, looked at what the footprint is here, what could be done here, and could this be remodeled into something bigger, nicer, more space? Yes, we're going to need space as the township grows. We knew that. We planned for that too. It was always an issue, but there's lots of room here. Buildings are here. Can you look at, has that been looked at?
That is a different way of doing things for sure, another alternative. And quite frankly, that property was not on the radar until the woman came over and said, you know, I'd like to keep it in the township. I'd like to expand upon our park. And if we can make our park bigger, it's very disrespectful. Did I laugh or talk? One worker out. And we'll have the police take him out. You can speak, but be respectful like we are. What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
John Perry.
John Perry, please try. I'm here for a reason. I'm here because I am trying to do what's best for the township. Maybe you don't all agree with it, but I live here, my kids here, I want my kids to come back here. There is nothing in here. Nothing at all. It is all transparent. You want to join up as a mob and attack individuals one at a time as a team? That's not transparent. That's not the way things, and I'm not the We are trying to move there so we can combine all of the facilities in the same place, buy a piece of property that we're not going to be able to afford later. We'll surely have townhomes or something of the equivalent 2 years from now if we don't buy them. Our intention is to create a park for your families and your kids so they want to come back here someday. It's also the most financially secure choice that we can make.
Excuse me.
One at a time.
I'll let Kim go first.
There's so many questions that have come up that I just don't understand about all the stuff you're doing. And I'll start with the last thing you said first. You talked about we need to buy this piece of property so the townhomes don't go in it. But yet.
All right, pause. No, pause.
Let him finish.
Pause.
Let him finish.
You just let him finish.
Let him finish.
That is not what I said.
Bob, that is what you said.
Exactly what you said.
Now, you say we want to buy the property so they don't put townhomes in. But then turn around 5 minutes ago, you're talking about all the growth in the township, we're going to have townhomes. Well, if we're buying property to keep townhomes from coming in, how are we going to get townhomes to come in here?
We don't want
You're
townhouses.
talking out both sides of your mouth.
All right.
Let me finish. I'm talking now.
Can we address one question at a time?
Well, I
Can I
said there
answer
were
that?
several questions and you didn't stop. The next question is, how are we gonna pay for something when the township is shown that at the last township meeting, they acknowledged they were running a deficit.
We're not.
Now, we're running a deficit. They said at the last township meeting, we're running a deficit. Now, how are we gonna, let me finish.
Yes, sir.
You're running a deficit, now you're gonna take out a loan on a grant that you don't have. You know, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Well, we got grants in the bush, but we don't have one in the hand.
Okay, address the
Next,
deficit.
my next question is, who owns the property and what is their relation to somebody that works for the township? Are they somebody's cousin, are they somebody's sister-in-law? You know, what, I have the roadmaster here saying, in my opinion, it's worth twice that. Well, then why don't you buy it for twice that and sell it to us?
Listen, we're trying to do what's right for the town.
No, you're not.
Go with
Oh, yeah, and you guys are being transparent.
Can you answer the deficit
Transparent
question
is a brick
real quick?
wall.
Deficit question.
Okay, so the deficit question. It was acknowledged there was a deficit in maybe one account, they didn't say which accounts were the deficit. That's a month-to-month thing. So sometimes this month you might be over, the next month you'll be under. That's how the deficit, that's how this all works, from month to month, not at the end of
Sir.
the year, that's when we know exactly where we are.
Go ahead. You had your hand up for a long
So far, year to date.
I know that.
The financial questions,
Question.
that is something that we're gonna ask at a, Board of Supervisors meeting, correct? That's stuff we talk about there.
Yeah.
Financial questions, Mary has all that outside. This is just to propose to you what we have, what we can buy. If you wanna talk
Who
numbers,
runs the
she's out there.
township, supervisors or mayor?
Mary, she's the manager.
Figure that.
She's the township manager.
Can I just,
That's
have a
at
couple
the direction
comments,
of
okay?
the supervisor.
I can get over, there. So this building currently is not ADA compliant. There's no way besides tearing it down or making major revisions to make it ADA compliant. And yet we have all of our meetings here. Also, the water and the sewage are all tied to this building, the entire, but 5 parts of the that hasn't changed. So now you're looking at running water, you're looking at sewage. And you're looking at, if you take that building and make it the way it needs to be, you have to add a meeting room over there, we have to add the lease. You have to add more offices for everything, because honestly, our storage right now is downstairs. Downstairs, we have these raw rooms, you better buy everything. You're trying to go in there and get any little documents, you have to make sure they don't fall apart.
Into the attic.
And in the
Yeah.
attic, and on top of the building, in the garage. The garage, the furnace for that place over there is in the garage. So when they're working on equipment in the garage, and they're running, guess where all the fumes go? Into the office.
Right, stop, let's move on.
That first put in before any of you that are here downstairs.
Yeah.
Do a lot of things.
Everybody listen.
Everything is money.
Hang on, you're still,
We never spend money over there.
go ahead. Sir.
Yeah, I'd like to just make a point of order, that's okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of disagreement on 10 buildings, 10 acres, 4 million, 5 million. I think, the point of order would be this. It seems like there's, 5 people that want this and 100 people that don't. I also see a township that is supposed to be represented by its elected officials, the supervisors. A lot of the answers are, I don't know, and then where the managers make it to handle this. To me, that shows poor leadership, it doesn't show, they don't have a handle on what's going on. It's a point of order, we can argue about 10 buildings, 1 building later, but just the way the meeting is being organized shows a lack of leadership and structure. The fact that you guys would spend money we don't have just shows lack of common sense. And then the will of the people is right here. You have 100 people saying no, and then 5 people who all work for the township saying yes. Conflict of interest there. Why don't you, whether you even want, and I understand you are a resident of,
I am.
you are supervisor, correct? I'm your resident, so I understand you have a vote, even if it's something you want, but your people that voted you don't want. You have the ability to not vote in what you would want, but vote for the populace that gave you our voice. And I understand Mary's the manager, and sure, she can figure out double-sided, single-sided. These are bigger issues with our tax money. I don't believe the manager is a resident of this. So my point of order is, have some respect for your constituents, have some humility for doing things you may not want to do, to vote in to represent.
That's why we're here, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're not here to be in a combative situation. We're here to listen. Period, to what the community has to say. And we're here also, and the one part that we've asked when everybody came in, was this was set up to be a very organized presentation with several stations, get people moved to in smaller groups, that they could answer questions of the people that were prepared to answer those questions. We did not do this to be a free-for-all that nobody's even been over here to see what these pictures show and the message that goes with them. Or have they been outside to see the financials?
It's like they're missing all this.
It was meant to move from spot to spot to spot in a manageable group so questions could be answered.
Can I ask? Is there a problem with the well and septic on this property?
There's not, we don't know if there's a problem. So do you know the correct answer to this? Is there a problem with the well and septic? Have the DEP?
DEP is going around and shutting down communities that have community centers like ours. Because there's one well for this building and the entire campus.
Okay.
They are limiting, and they're going around testing the wells, and they're limiting
They have not.
the number of people that can be in the building at a time. I can tell you right now that this would be way too many people for DEP.
Do you have the name of the person?
We have a letter in the office, I don't have it with me.
Can I get a copy?
Yeah.
I spoke with the DEP the other day, and they said, we don't do that.
I'm just telling you what they
You know,
said.
so, I like the
We
name.
have information on it.
I don't think anybody's disputing that there are things that need to.
So the DEP closed this facility down.
Is that what it is?
They don't want us to have this many people in here at once.
So I think it's needed. Making decisions without really being transparent and in such a hurry. But obviously this isn't getting resolved. And then there's gonna be a meeting, when, vote on it, that's fine. Okay, but even if it was 3 weeks, now, is that enough time?
We're getting through tonight, and then we'll determine where to go tomorrow. So I don't have an answer there. But I do suggest that any financial questions, you do go to the next station outside where she can address those.
Dean was the next one with his hand up. Dean was the next one with his hand up.
Mark, one question.
Rich Mark.
You say that you care about the constituents.
I do.
Very simple. Who wants to buy 600 Berry Highway? Hands up. Who does not want to buy 600 Berry Highway? Your constituents have answered. So when you come to the meeting, Mark, and you say, I'm for
600 pair, you have to face these people, you know that. So, we voted you in, 4 years, we can vote you right back out.
Right.
So, the constituents have spoken, I think.
Bob Brennan, please.
Thank you.
I'm not saying whether I'm necessarily for or against this. I know there are definitely deficiencies in our current campus, and there are certain advantages of building a new campus somewhere else. I think, though, that there's a lot of unanswered questions. That's what I'm struggling with more than anything, is the level of uncertainty about everything. Has the township supervisors and all considered, often when I would purchase land as a developer, I would write agreements that have all kinds of studies, feasibility studies, environmental studies, all kinds of things to make sure that the purchase is suitable for my purpose when it's all said and done. That would include zoning and feasibility and everything else. I think that the township might be rushing this a little bit, and maybe we should do is craft an agreement that goes and locks the ground up while you can perform some of this due diligence on it. And you can actually go and do some of the studies, put some serious numbers together, rather than some of the hand-waving numbers that we have now, and the old numbers that I don't know how real those numbers were. So put some serious thought into a serious proposal to the township residents, say, here's why this is good, more than what's in here. I like what I'm seeing, a lot of like what I'm seeing. There's so many unanswered questions that I think if you could lock that ground up for a period of a few months to do some really serious due diligence, and then really put a presentation together as to why or why not it works. And that could be non-refundable yet, I understand that, but I think it's well worth the effort to do that. And yes,
I agree with that, and that's what, that is actually part of the process that the attorneys are working on with the seller, are contingencies and things that we can make sure happen before we jump into it. She's been very gracious, and then she's very anxious to move on. And we're very anxious to do the right thing, and that's part of the process. It's not, it started with the solicitor, and I can't provide you what's in it currently, but I have seen it. And that's a very important process. Thank you.
Can I have Mr. Brennan stand?
Yeah.
Here's the whole point I was trying to make last week, and I'll make it again now, which is, the solicitor even said, oh, we're afraid that they're gonna renegotiate the price. We're already paying the full appraisal value side. It doesn't appear that there was any negotiations done whatsoever. It was, here's an appraised value, which I think is out of line, my professional opinion. And we're just paying full price. I'm not saying don't ever buy that property, don't buy the property. I'm saying, don't pay $77,000 plus per acre for that.
You're not even counting the buildings when you say that.
No, I am, Eddie. I've been doing this for 22 freaking years, man. Like, that's what I do every day of my life.
So Mary's our financial expert. When you go outside, talk to her about it. Cindy, please. Cindy, please.
But it would be nice to see something bought, and if you can take that whole ball field and do something with it. Have you ever approached people living on the road frontage here to see if they'd be considering to sell it to the township? To give you more road frontage? And don't tell me that the well and what septic is gonna work over the new place. You have a line getting expenses over there that you haven't even considered yet.
You're right. And
We need to see what you can do here. You need to show us you did your due diligence before we go spending all this money on a piece of property. That way, maybe you can get more people to buy into it, and that's the best option. Maybe it's not. Maybe there is some options here, you know. You'd be amazed who's going to sell up front.
And that's a good point. That's something that could certainly be done, but so I will tell you, if you guys all see, and I hate to use the word Jackson Township, because it's not good, but if you look at the new townhomes, in Jackson Township, 3-bedroom townhomes on 2,000 square foot lots, does anybody know what those are selling for?
440,000.
430,000. Give or take.
But they have a 30-foot driveway.
They have a 30-foot driveway, which is fantastic. So it's not a huge stretch that we have several existing buildings. And like he said, it's not $77,000 an acre for a piece of land that's undeveloped. I'd make the same argument. Somebody's paying $400,000 for a 2,000 square foot lot in Jackson. It catches it has a house on it. Just as these houses and properties fit into some of the things that we need in the township as part of the community side.
Yeah, and Puerto Rico lots in Los Angeles are going for $2 million. So what does that have to do with it?
Can I say something? I have one
The
acre.
Chevron doctrine was overthrown by the Supreme Court. And it told the EPA, you don't have the kind of overreach that you think you have. And that trickles down to state departments of environmental protection. So maybe we need to push back at DEP and say, our well and our septic tank have been adequate and are, and you don't have the right or the authority to stop us because of the Chevron doctrine was overthrown by the Supreme Court. Maybe somebody in this township, the solicitor, needs to grow a backbone.
We can't continue to accommodate the township and the facilities we have. We simply can't. When I go over to meet with Mary, truly, we are inhaling diesel fumes because there's no ceiling between the garage where the heavy equipment is and our office. We can't fit our township in here to have a reasonable meeting. We have to leave half the people outside. We need to do something in order to grow.
Hold on. Mark Sapiens has had his hand up, it's gotta be enough.
Okay, so I know Ed and everyone. So they deemed the well a problem and the septic here?
They have not deemed it a problem. They have had a problem with us sharing the well and
There is
septic.
a problem. What's the next step?
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
have
have
another,
the sewer and the water coming up here, and everybody's gonna pay tap fee, then the township's gonna blow up. I don't wanna see the township blow up. There's too much traffic here now. I mean, slowly, but I think there's other ways. I mean, first of all, everybody should give these guys respect when they're talking and trying to explain something. I mean, that's just a courtesy, but, I mean, I think there's more than we're hearing. There's something else coming.
not that I know of. Not that I know.
I'm just
We
saying,
just want, we just want to
13
be.
acres, if a developer comes in, Boston will probably know, in Lancaster Township, what's the minimum lot size?
Well, it's all changing.
Okay, well, let's
It's all about utilities, you know, and so.
You don't have the infrastructure, it's not there.
well, let's just say, what's the average? What would you say? An acre?
I could give you a number, everything is different, location, utilities.
Okay, but even 13, 26 homes would be less than that, but you gotta have a road and everything. To me, okay, 30 homes a lot development, go ahead.
As a resident, I know somebody just sold their house, it's 1 acre,
Oh, where is it located?
right off the 19.
Okay, is it in the wetland?
No,
Of course not. That's the point. There's half of that that's wetland.
It's not wetland.
It's
Have you walked in
actually
this thoroughly?
Parks has wetlands.
There's a stream that goes through it. It's not wetland.
Yeah.
it's the path, I walked through there twice. It would be a beautiful addition to the park with walking trails to the buildings. The front part would be beautiful for our municipal center, and it adds to the footprint of our park, which I'll guarantee your grandkids someday are going to appreciate. All for less than we can do another municipal center. It's, there is no, we're not hiding anything at all.
I don't think
So
anybody
here's-
disagrees that there's gotta be some room for, it's been outgrown for a while. I mean, we know that, there's plans and stuff like that. I think, like Bob probably put it next, the big thing tonight is this came on so quick. Has there been any studies done? Has there been any looking at what could be done here? Has there been look? We know we couldn't do the township building over at the park because there's no infrastructure there, there's water there, it brings sewer up, and then you talk about slow drip systems and all the other stuff. But the infrastructure, putting it over there, parking lots, pavement, all that stuff, it just wraps up. Is there, that's, I think, what everybody wants, is some clear answers.
So if-
for the time.
so if-
If into the effect, what's been looked at, what has been done.
That property came up, he's not holding on.
So-
So
so
there
that-
is a decision that has to be made. We have reached out and met with a professional agency who the county's paying for to help us to obtain grants. They have, and that's part of Mary's presentation, we go out there, the list of grants. These are professionals who are being paid. There are a ton of grants that are available. What the professionals are telling us is that to try to obtain a grant for something that we don't own is nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to get a grant for something that's not under development. We have so much more leverage, and at the end of the day, honestly, I would love to maintain this and that for the township, and I think for the long term, that's a great move for the township, because free space for your families we're not gonna come by that for very often. Until we get a grant for those facilities, we have not bitten off more than we can chew for that land.
Thank you.
Here's the question.
I know this is a married question, but I will make sure we do it too. I know from my husband dealing in construction, getting grants in other townships, they have to come up with a percentage of that.
Correct. The down payment on the land counts as that percentage.
And you've already come up with that money yet, Rich? Where's that money coming from?
The land for, we're borrowing, the down payment. The down payment we have already in process, about $250,000 West Side. Again, I urge you to go out and look at the numbers, rather than grilling me about something that somebody's prepared to present. But it's 4% interest, we have a 20-year mortgage, we make a down payment, and then we can afford to make the payments even without selling. We have a valuable piece of property that we can use for the township to hopefully build a new building. If we can, what have we lost? Can somebody tell me what we've lost?
$1 million.
No, we haven't lost.
It's gonna go increase it. $10 million for something that's not worth $1 million.
With all due respect, we have a park that we purchased at least 4 years ago, right? Okay, and what has been done on that piece of property since we purchased it? I see the trail going in, I see the fence going up, I see some shrubbery and renovation of a barn. Now they're proposing to spend another $4 million, and you want our confidence in this is going to turn out different than that park?
Actually, we have, honestly, we have a park committee who are.
But surely you can respect our concerns. That park got watershed out on the back.
Because even
Nothing to rest of it. And now you want to. And that's. If you don't build a house until you finish it.
So we have a park
This
committee.
makes no sense. I was on board with this community, but I don't need it, so the community is, that park is sitting there for how many years, and nothing has been done. Now you want to, that's the year the proposals that we're making right now, for park, and it was never done. But now you want to purchase additional acreage that's adjacent to it, and all of a sudden, magical things are going to happen. And you can't even show us how you're going to purchase it. You might get grant, you might get loan, and I appreciate it. And then on top of that, what studies have been done to show the expansion in our township that will justify, and then you want to move the firehouse, yet you've already said that there's not no real issues with the current firehouse. But let's spend money on it and let that park sit and do nothing to it. No, see, that's where our concern is.
So the park, believe it or not, we have a very active park committee who are all mostly long-term residents of the township. Deb Scott is one. Can you address how much work you guys have put into trying to come up with a plan for the park?
Yeah, we've been working as a park committee for probably 2 years now. We have been going through surveys. If you came to Community Day a couple weeks ago, you would have gotten a survey of what you would like to see at the park. We also are a parks committee, Four Springs Park and Bauer Park, which would, I would like to make another point if I could. Bauer Park has been here for years, since way before I was a little girl. I grew up here in the Township. I personally, and know a lot of people would hate to see anything happen to that ball field. I know there's a lot of talk about the ball field and the property, but you just don't pick up a ball field and move it. That is difficult to do. We have a beautiful ball field. We have a beautiful park that is used by a lot of residents and people that come in and rent this building. So considering a move or buying more property, we need to also consider what's going to happen to Bauer Park, and do we want to see it destroyed?
No, and that's not our, I just said that's not.
I would love to keep both.
We'd like to figure out how to do that.
We need to figure out how.
So if we were able to separate it and keep them both.
Right.
And us not be working out of that facility, if we just use this for storage, we can eliminate the sewer line coming here, and that would get really alleviated of the issues, because this septic is on this parcel.
Right, I do, right.
So that would eliminate.
Now, what do we would see different in this park?
What's that?
A year from now, what are the plans you want to do?
Okay, so that part, we did a survey, okay? And we calculated the survey at our last, we put it all together. Sally is also on the Parks Committee. And people are interested in paving the walking trail, like making the walking trail better by paving it, putting shelter. This is what the survey, the top like 5, was a picnic shelter and benches, a playground.
And that money, you asked about the money, that is in the fund. We do have parks for that.
So,
we still have
you're gonna now start to put money in this park, and there's a playground.
We have
I just think you're the road.
We've been waiting for our parks committee to come back with their house.
we had,
Check off something, is that probably his purpose? And it seems like there was never a plan.
I love the fact that you said that. Mary has only been here for less than 2 years. And one of the things that she has not done is to finish.
I'm addressing the
Supervisors,
And they want to see if you're in the township or just spending that shit. And that's what Mary has. Who knows for tractors, buying things, and them to see us go.
What's your name? Chris. Chris what? Please. Oh, okay. We had all that, all that stuff. Shit, it was more. That was all laid out. What why are they mowing the park with a 0 turn? It's 26 acres being mowed. We want them belly deck mower.
Yeah, they're still mowing with it, belly deck.
Yeah, I was told they mowed all with 0 turn now. And I've seen the 0 turn whipping through there.
Yeah, the 0 turn is the fastest way to mow over there. But all the hills, the girl that's been mowing for us part-time, she does all the hills.
That's why we want the belly deck mowers. And then we want a back mower for the
brush on, yeah.
So that you can make one pass and then take your boom mower out and just mow the top parts maybe once or twice a year. She has quite a brand new boom mower. Doesn't even keep it going.
That was way before me and Mary. That was
Way after me.
Mary has asked us, what do you think about what the, we're like, we hate the idea, but it was already ordered freaking way before us. That was all Michael Foot that ordered all this stuff. But
if all that stuff, I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
It's now it's like,
It's a life.
This is too.
Yeah.
Doing COVID, so I just didn't run. But there's so much it's a massacre. There's like 4 or 5 phases left. I was trying to find the photos when I kept it moving for it.
Mary's like, Mary is so mad. She's like, I want something to do.
And we had to do something because the park sucked so long because of park conservation. We had to do something because we were getting to change this initially. So that's what we started talking to it was just
I have a want to
Andy is my cousin.
I went to school with him. I don't even remember what I was
in this school. My dad was raised there. His dad, he's raised there.
They're two, they're like, I think they're
I think my
paid.
so like, I have less interest in seeing this township.
And that's the other thing that people.
So
let's look at it like this. What happens if you like this public property appraised for 800 and some thousand, and the fire station is 200,000? So we don't want to lose this. No, we don't want to lose this. We're in this history of sale or something.
We were talking about it then in the study.
You think all that can be in one building? I don't think that is. I don't think it's big enough. I don't think the building could be big enough for the police, us, and then they want to lose.